Happy motherfucking hump day, horn dogs. Welcome back to Hotter Than Healing, the podcast where women learn things and men get humbled. Before we start, I just wanted to talk about this Diddy docuseries that's broken the internet. Like, what the actual fuck? It's so fucked. It's just fucked and then it gets more fucked. And listen, I'm not here to unpack allegations. That's just not my domain. But every single woman watching said, yep, I've seen that. Yep, I've survived that. And it's just stirred up this beast in me all over again. But, anyways, speaking on the topic of men and their poor understanding of women, um, there's just so much we need to unpack there. Men basically think that wetness is equal to worship. And it's just like, babe, no, that's literally just hydration. So today, let's talk about orgasms. And let's talk about why women aren't finishing, why safety is hotter than foreplay, and why your vibrator knows you than the majority of your roster combined. Class is in session, so get your hands off your genitals and buckle the fuck up, bros and hoes. So I was in Dubai very recently, surprise, surprise. And I was having a couple of drinks with a couple of gentlemen at the hotel, at the rooftop pool. And these were very well educated, successful men, multinational, whatever. Okay. These are not like low class, uneducated gentlemen, is what I'm trying to say. And we had great conversation, very interesting, this and that, blah, blah, blah. When it got to the point of me saying, I forget actually how the conversation exactly led here, but at one point I was like, I said to them that the male orgasm is like the most brainless thing ever. And I said that basically every time a man comes, he orgasms, right? But I said the same is not true for women. I said that those events are completely independent in women, whereas they're completely interdependent in men. It's just a complete different science and equation. And the way gentleman number one, like the way his jaw just hit the floor, I swear it's still up there on the rooftop bar and he hasn't collected it yet. Like he couldn't fathom it. Oh, but oh my God, like Nikki, like there was this girl, this last girl I was with, she would squirt everywhere, soak this, do this. She was like a fucking unhinged garden hose that you just can't find the nozzle and turn off. And he's just like, he's defending himself. He's getting all worked up and trying to basically convince me that he was this sex guru and that he made this woman just come so hard and that of course she had orgasms. Like it was consecutive squirt after squirt after squirt and this, that, and the other. And I just thought, okay, listen up, bucko. You're incorrect. And I was like, I said, I will die on this hill. And I said, if I'm wrong, I will literally, like, God can take my life tomorrow. I said, I don't care. I would go to the top of that bird right there and jump right the fuck off it. No parachute. If someone could prove me wrong right now, because no, they won't. They can't. You can't. Don't. Like, just don't. And I said, trust me, I know what the fuck I'm talking about. And he's like, well, and his buddy actually I was impressed by his buddy, I have to say. Snaps for dude number two. But I do have to say, he was raised by a spiritual mom who is into astrology, and some people might call her a bit woo-woo, all that. She's like one of us, one of us spiritual girlies. So I feel like that impacted bro number two, because he was just like, no, like, dude, I'm gonna have to agree with Nikki on this one. Like, she's right. And then the guy was like, well, like, he's looking like he's just been told he's failed all of his examinations and he won't be getting into university type thing. Like, he's looking discouraged. He's looking like he feels betrayed. And you can just see all the flashbacks in his head and like his mind's running. And I was like, look, if you're so certain that every single woman you've been with has had an orgasm every single time that they've come, he's like, but what about the wetness? I'm like, if you want to hold on to that and say that they orgasmed and they're telling you they orgasmed, then I'm so sorry, but like, you've had a lot of women lie to you. And it was just, and he's like, okay, well, we'll pick this conversation up later. And he literally had to go, like, compile himself. And his buddy was agreeing with me. And then he was going, like, okay, well, so what is it then? Like, how do you, what, like, it's the foreplay. I was like, yeah, but it's more than that. And then the other guy was like, yeah, it's not going to be on the first time. You have to build connection and trust. And I'm like, wow, okay, there's still faith. I don't know if bro number two understands it as deep as I'm about to dissect it, but I think I felt faith. So that was the dynamic, and I found it really, really funny to have that conversation with them. And that's what's brought me here into the topic of the orgasm gap. So that's what brought me here, really. Let's just talk stats, because as a babe with a biology background, there's nothing that just gets me geared up, gets me all looped up and turned on and ready for a session. Quite like some filthy fucking stats, baby. I love it. So let's make sure that you're paying attention. All right, bros and hoes? Class is in session, so get your hands off your genitals and buckle the fuck up. Let's talk the orgasm gap. So, how about this? 95% of men finish from sex versus a whopping 65% of women. And of that 65%, it's only 18% of women that orgasm, from penetration alone. Those are small numbers. That's 18 of your friends out of 100. That's sad. That's like literally really brutal. Now, of course, when I'm talking about women and men like this, this is based off of heterosexual couples. But when it comes to solo pleasure, women orgasm twice as often when they're on their own. The other stat that I find really, really interesting is that stress actually delays orgasms by 300%. So when you're thinking back to the time when you were just stressed off and had a long day, and your guy or your whatever fuck buddy, whoever the fuck he was like, oh, let me just fuck it out of you, and you were just like, what? Like, we are just so different from men. I'm sorry, a stressed out woman is not achieving climax, and not that fucking easy. So guys, with that approach, please, no more. And the last stat, which I want to share, that is, I think, completely unsurprising, is that lesbian couples have the highest orgasm rates. Sorry, I needed to take a sip of water. I I just feel like I'm dried up thinking about these stats. So all of this to say that women don't actually have orgasm issues. What they have is partner issues. Am I right? Like, the stats don't lie. I'm not sitting here just chatting shit, making up some crazy shit. No, that is what the stats have told us here. And I feel like I don't, when I think about it, men orgasm like they're clocking out, and women open portals when they orgasm. Just think about that. That makes sense, okay? I know what the fuck I'm saying. So now that we've covered our stats, let's just look at male versus female orgasms. It couldn't be more different, as I previously mentioned. Male orgasms involve it's a linear process, and it really only depends on one motherfucking thing. Do you want to know what that is? Friction, baby. You know, when you rub your hands really fast together like this and create a little bit of heat? Friction. Ooh, how complex and crazy. I know that's what you're thinking. You're thinking, Nikki, wow, that is groundbreaking. No, I know you're not thinking that. It's absolutely so simple and ridiculous, because it is. That's literally all it is. And our loser Diddy over there can sure testify to that one, the sick creep. But anyways, women, like female orgasms, this is definitely not linear. This is very complex, and it relies on trust, the build up, so foreplay, and even more than that, as well as safety. So we have male orgasms relying completely on friction, being a linear process, whereas female orgasms being a complex process, which relies on trust, build up, and safety. That's a complete different ballgame already. It's like, it's already giving chess versus checkers, okay? Basically, a male orgasm is nothing more than a big old sneeze, a big old achoo, and then it's like quick, one and done, easy. You expect it, you feel it coming. It's always gonna feel good. It's whatever. A female orgasm is a whole motherfucking ritual, okay? Let me say that again for you. A male orgasm is a sneeze. A female orgasm is a ritual. And I will die on this hill. So, gang, foreplay is not optional. It's the assignment. It is literally a non-negotiable. With that being said, safety is so fucking sexy, okay? Again, the memo that Diddy completely missed. The fucking guy. But it is, right? So when we think about a woman who is in fight or flight response, there's no orgasm. That's not happening. She's not. She might come, she might get wet, but she will not orgasm, okay? And that's a complete different thing. Like, please. Basically, if you are in a state of hypervigilance, your pelvic floor is going to be so fucking tight. That thing it's not opening up for anyone. It's like, it's sealed shut at this point, okay? And you can't orgasm when your pelvic floor is all tensed up like that. Your body will just never ever climax when it's in danger. Your body will just never ever climax when it's in danger, and that's a fact. I've basically come to realize that your pussy literally has better intuition than your brain. That's mad. But I guess she's not overrun by logic, so it makes sense. And ladies, men, everyone, anyone listening to this, women don't lose libido, they lose safety. So if like the next time I hear a guy saying, oh, she just stopped wanting to put out, she doesn't do it, she lost her libido, I might just pull out every one of my gorgeous long fucking eyelashes one by one because I just can't. I just can't. Like, no, sweetheart, she just doesn't feel safe with you anymore, and you've probably exposed your true colors, and now her body is in fight or flight, and now you're both fucked. Congrats. I remember being with someone where my body literally just shut down, and it wasn't because I didn't like them or anything like that. It was because my nervous system didn't trust them, like plain and simple. And I can 100% look back and realize that that's what happened. I think at the time I wasn't present. I couldn't relax. I couldn't feel anything really. And I didn't know why. I really didn't understand it. But now I do. Now I can look back and realize that I just felt unsafe. And that's not optional. You know, safety it's crucial. So it's insane to actually, it's really crazy to learn this and realize that safety is such a crucial part of the female orgasm. But it's not surprising. It's like, I know you're thinking, yeah, of course, Nikki, obvious. But is it though? Because why are we having all these issues in this world if it's so obvious, you know? And I hope that more men can begin to understand this. Now, I've said a couple of times that just because a woman is wet, it does not mean she's turned on. Like, first of all, pussies are self-lubricating, self-cleaning machines that just do have wetness. I'm sorry, that's just how it works. Unless there's like an underlying medical condition, I don't fucking know. But you know what I'm saying, okay? Lubrication is a reflex. It does not mean desire, okay? And this is where I get really, really passionate about the fact that, yeah, I do believe that porn has ruined men in a lot of ways because it's made them believe that wetness means desire. And oftentimes men see wetness as meaning desire, which they also then interpret as consent. And I'm just like, in what how did we get from there to there? It's insane to me. I just feel like, guys, please listen the fuck up. Take note, okay? Press pause, rewind, listen back, get your little pen and paper out, write it down. Wetness is hydration, not worship, okay? And please, for the love of fuck, on behalf of myself and all of the other women, just stop confusing biology with enthusiasm, or even worse, consent, because that's just crazy. This brings me to the next topic, which is faking orgasms. I've done it, you've done it, your mom's done it, your sister's done it, your fucking aunt's done it, your grandma's done it, your nanny's done it, whatever, everyone's done it, we've all done it, okay? And it's just sad. It sucks that we have all felt that we were in a position where we were like, okay, let's just fake this and get on with it. Typically, I feel like it's to just bring sex to an end because we've just had enough and the friction isn't doing it for us like it does for them. It's often to avoid conflict as well, though, to protect egos, maybe simply out of exhaustion or due to pressure. And that fucking sucks. I'm so glad that I'm at a point in my life where I will never ever again fake an orgasm. Like I can't. I don't care enough about the male ego at this point to ever do that ever again. It's just makes me sick to my whole core, but I've done it countless times. I think I did it with probably like I've done it with every single partner I've ever been with. Definitely, hands down. Especially, once you stop feeling safe with someone and start questioning things or blah, 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 whatever, even if it is a healthy relationship, I think a lot of people have faked an orgasm. Maybe it was in the beginning, to just, again, for the reasons listed before. And maybe later on in the relationship, you start having real orgasms with this partner. But even then, we all do it and have done it. But can we just collectively put a big old stop to this, please? I would love that. I think we would all love that. What I'm really drawn to say on the topic is that women don't fake orgasms, they actually fake hope. That sucks. That really sucks. I'm actually grieving on behalf of women for so many reasons as I sit here and record this podcast, because I'm like, oh my fucking God. And again, it's like, it's been this combination of watching that god awful series and that conversation I had. It's just so much is on my mind right now about these things. And the other thing I wanted to say is that men fake intimacy whilst women fake orgasms. It's simple. Like, men, we're on to you. We know you're faking the intimacy, okay? But just don't even worry your sweet little selves, because we're faking the orgasms. So can we all just stop all this faking? It's getting us nowhere, and it's actually taking us backwards in so many ways. I feel like my new norm is sitting here in a hotel plush bathrobe and chatting with you, and I'm so fucking here for it. I actually love it. I bought a whole podcast studio setup back at home, but I've just been so on the go since then that this is it, and it's really working. I really like it. I actually love having you here with me when I'm on holiday. It's kind of cute. Right. Class is still in session, so make sure you're still buckled the fuck up. Let's talk about slutty neuroscience. How erotic. First and foremost, let's just cover the bases about the elements that comprise the female orgasm on a biological level, on a neuroscience level. This just tickles me as well. Obviously, with my background, I can't help it. And it's really important as well. So the first one is oxytocin, which is I think a lot of people do know that oxytocin is a hormone that women do release when they orgasm during sex with their partner. And this is the bonding hormone. It's the hormone that's released during breastfeeding, which bonds mothers and babies. And so that explains the attachment that comes from sex. Right. Now let's move on to our good old pal, dopamine. Dopamine is responsible for the reward cycle in our brain. So it's the motherfucker responsible for craving that person again. So it's like your fuck buddy's left, you've had your shower, you're in bed, you're like, oh, that was fun. And then you wake up the next morning and you're like, need more. And your pussy's like, feed me more of that. That's the dopamine. Okay, and it's the dopamine that's also responsible for that post-orgasm glow. You walk into work the next day, and your colleagues are like, all right, Suzanne, I see you. You what were you hanging from the chandeliers last night? You crazy kinky bitch. And you're like, yeah, that's dopamine. Like it gives us this high. And we all love it, okay? It's great. It's a really great part of it. But it makes you crave that motherfucker, so be careful. The next biological response is the pelvic floor release. Now, this is really, really important. It's more or less of your body's way of an emotional exhale. So, your pelvic floor actually stores a lot of trauma and tension. And when you orgasm, it actually releases this trauma and this tension. These things are stored, like trauma, tension, stress is all stored in your body, in these organs, in connective tissues, blah, blah, blah. So when you have an orgasm, these things are released. It's the emotional exhale. So a lot of women have reported crying after sex, or like uncontrollable laughter, or the shakes. A lot of us have experienced like shaking. That is literally the pelvic floor release, and that is your body also releasing trauma. We love that for us. So when people say that sex is healthy, they're not wrong. When done safely and with the right person, it is so fucking healthy and so fucking healing. That is on Hotter Than Healing. And then the next thing is the vagus nerve. This is, I think, my favorite nerve in the body. It connects the cervix all the way up to the brain. Can you imagine? It's the longest nerve in the human body. I like to think of it as the pleasure highway. So if your vagus nerve doesn't feel safe, in other words, if your nervous system knows it's not safe, there's no orgasm, because now this nerve is not working, period. End of. There's no way around it. The trauma discharge that happens during sex is just something that I'm really, really passionate about. I did mention already, but it's just really important. Like, Hotter Than Healing gang. Orgasms discharge emotional storage. That is some powerful fucking shit, yeah. So grab your dildos, grab your vibrators, sip a glass of wine, a bottle of wine, get in the hot bath, love yourself up, and come to the high heavens, sweetheart. Because let me tell you, that is going to be way more healing than a night trying to fake orgasms with some jabrowski who doesn't understand what the fuck is left from right, who you don't feel safe with, okay? Back on track. Breath is equal to blood flow. We know this. We know about breath work. We know how important it is to do our deep breathing when we're all psyched up and crazy and stressed out and we're not breathing properly and our anxiety is high and our heart rate is high and our cortisol is high and everything's just fucked up and our body's just a big factory of fucking cortisol and insanity. What is the number one best way to bring ourselves back down? It's breath work. Why? Because breath, like ample breath, leads to blood flow. So next time you're doing the nasty and you let your partner do that pumping, babe, your job is to breathe. And I'm not talking those shallow, quick breaths, because a lot of women actually don't reach orgasm because their breathing is too quick and shallow. So you want deep breaths. Make sure you are just slurping up that oxygen like it's going out of supply, because that will help a lot. Or even, obviously, when you're just enjoying time by yourself, just take some deep breaths. I swear to God. I might sound like your absolutely deranged, sex positive big sister right now who's just here promoting vibrators or something, but I promise you, I'm not. I just want you to chill the fuck out, stop holding your breath, and give your body the chance to orgasm. Last but not least is the topic of cervical orgasms. This basically results in a limbic imprint. So what I'm saying is that cervical orgasms activate the limbic brain. This is the part of your brain that handles emotion, it handles memory, bonding, love. That's why women fall in love after that kind of sex. It's literally your cervix talking to the limbic brain and telling you, yes, sweetheart, fuck yes, that was it. That was the one. So basically, what am I saying? Your orgasm is your intuition speaking through your body. You got that? And pleasure is the body's original trauma therapy. And that shit is a hell of a lot cheaper than going and sitting on some lady's sofa. So, I mean, I'm not saying we don't need therapy, because we do. We all do. But what I am saying is that let's start with learning our bodies and having a fucking orgasm every now and again and releasing this trauma. It's so important. And also, why are we not doing this for ourselves before we enter into relationships, or at least getting comfortable with this on our own before we enter relationships? It's like, can we please shed our trauma in a natural, harmless way before trying to integrate other people into these webs of disasters? It makes me think about the first time I had an orgasm with someone that I fully trusted and felt 100% safe with. It felt so different. I remember it like it was yesterday. I don't have words for it, but it felt like my whole body uncoiled. That's literally the best way I can describe it. And once I felt that, I think I was changed. And that's on the vagus nerve, that's on the pelvic floor, that's on emotional safety. And when it came down to it, it wasn't even about that this person had the best technique. So the way guys get obsessed about touching at 10 or 2 or doing this or doing that, or, well, some girls like it like this, some like it like that. I mean, okay, there is truth to that. You have to learn your partner. Everyone is different. But gentlemen, like it's actually, that wasn't about the technique, and it typically isn't about the technique. It's about the connection, and that's on a deeper level. And if you're sitting there going, "Oh, Nikki, what do you mean?" Like, you please just rewind all of that and listen again, and listen the fuck up, because I promise you what I'm saying makes sense. That brings me to the topic of solo orgasms versus orgasming with a man. Remember how I told you that 95% of men orgasm come from sex versus 65% of women? Now imagine this. 95% of women reach orgasm on their own. I'll just let that one land. I don't even think I need to elaborate on that. So, yes, your vibrator is consistent. And the men that have beef with vibrators, I think that's projecting. Okay, sweetie boo, I think you are just projecting your inadequacies and your inability to be consistent. That being said, trauma survivors climax much easier on their own. Again, because what did we talk about? The sexiness of safety. And lastly, it's that solo play actually teaches you, it teaches your body. So all those hours spent strumming your clit, DJing away, like you're gonna be the next fucking Bad Bunny out there. Whatever you are doing in terms of your solo play is really important. And this is actually education as well for your body and your nervous system. And it's really beautiful. I think back to the the time when my mom, she gave me a little vibrator when I was like in my early teens, and I didn't understand what the fuck it was. I think it was like a little bullet, and I was like, and I just like did not get it. And she just wanted to subtly slide it over to me, bless her. And now, like, I remember when I realized what it was, I got so embarrassed and shy, which is so natural. But thinking back to it, like, she's such a G. Like, she was really doing her best to equip me the best way possible. And it's amazing. Like, shout out Mama Bear. God bless her. And it's such a shame I didn't realize what the bullet was. Oh, what a long way I've come. Oh my gosh. But now I'm like the self-love queen, and I mean in every single domain. Like I think it's so important. I really, really enjoy my solo play. And I mentioned earlier that I do believe porn has ruined men, and that's amongst one of the main reasons that I do feel I'm becoming more and more unaligned with the adult industry, and I feel myself doing a slow exit. I can't lie. It's just, I don't like to feed into this. On the contrary, the the solo content that I make, oh babes, I don't pretend. Like uh if I am going to sit there and I haven't even recorded in so long, you guys, but when I used to record solo content, let's put it that way, um I I fully went for it and allowed myself to just unleash. I didn't care about the facial expressions. I didn't care about looking a certain way. All of the things that porn basically teaches against. Do you know what I mean? Like being on set on a porn shoot completely abolishes all of these principles, and I just think it's why I've really found myself veering away from it. Sorry, I totally have just derailed, haven't I? Well, not totally. But all of this to say that the solo times are just the best. It's just great, and it's really, the more I engage in solo play and enjoy it and try different things and use different toys and play with, different mindsets or times of the day or things like that. It's education for me, and it's been so good, and I've learned so, so, so much about myself, and I find it really valuable. I obviously have learned way more about my body than any man has ever shown me. Surprise, surprise. I just feel like women don't realize how powerful that solo orgasms really are. They are like a conversation with your soul. So, ladies, tap the fuck in and just have a chat with your soul through your clit, okay? That bad baby has 8,000 nerve endings. Like, can we get a hell yeah? That's more than double the nerve endings in a penis. Like, I'm sorry, but we're blessed. Let us just grab a fucking hold of that and run, and run with it, ladies. Strum with it, whatever you like to do. So that is basically everything that I wanted to cover today. Um, just just a reminder that your orgasm is not complicated. It just has taste. Imagine that. That's cute. Babes, listen the fuck up. Your pleasure is not optional. It's your birthright. And it's free fucking therapy. Take it. We all need it. Let's be honest, we're all a little bit, this world is too much, okay? If you can just get some free therapy and trauma release in the form of self play, like, I'm so here for it. I feel like I actually do need a sponsorship from my favorite vibrator because I could have mentioned it so many times in this episode. Anyways, I will. I have the Lovence. What the fuck is it called? Anyways, it's like it's like a black wand. That thing. I've had two. I will buy it over and over again. It's, oh my God. When I get back to London and get my hands on my vibrator, oh my God, I feel like my clit is going to be like, bitch, stop. But seriously, ladies, your pleasure is not optional. It's your birthright, and it really is free therapy. I will say it over and over and over again. And you can search all of this up, like, please. Lastly, I want to say, if he can't handle your standards, just tell him to listen to Ep.6. All right. And just to wrap this all up, this is one of the reasons why the Diddy documentary has hit people so hard. You know, it forces us to confront the simple fact that women's bodies tell the truth. Let's try that again. And this is one of the reasons why the Diddy documentary has hit people so hard, I think. It forces us to confront the fact that women's bodies tell the truth, and this happens long before our minds can. I just wanted to let that land for a second because it's so fucking true. So, I hope that was informative and interesting, and I hope I've encouraged people to have some great self-love and solo orgasm to the high fucking heavens. I hope you've enjoyed listening. I have very much enjoyed chatting your ear off as per usual. I have so many listener write-ins coming in already, which is really, really impressive, but I want more. I love to hear from you guys so much. I love this community. This is great. So if anything that I've spoken about today has sparked curiosity, if you've got a story you can relate to and you're like, oh my God, Nikki, literally, like, I just blah, 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 and you just want to have some verbal diarrhea and tell me about the ways that you can relate or understand, or if you're a guy and you're just as baffled as the bro I met in Dubai the other day and you're like, blah, blah, you can also email too. Like, everyone's welcome. But please do write in. I love it. It's hotterthanhealing@gmail.com if you want to reach me directly by email, or you can always DM me on, you know what? Let's just stick it to the emails. Write in your write-ins. Reach me on Gmail, hotterthanhealing@gmail.com. I can't wait to hear what all you perverts have to say, and I hope that you have taken at least one or two things from this episode. I really hope you've enjoyed it. I love you all. Have fun playing with your clits, and gentlemen, please remember to make all of the women around you feel safe. It's number one. And don't forget, just because she's wet, you didn't do something. So simmer the fuck down with that ego thing, okay? Right. I love you so much, and see you next week. Bye.